Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, second year. How are you? I hope you will be fine. Okay, we will continue with nervous coordination. Your chapter number 17, and today is the lecture number 2, remaining part of your nervous coordination. After the completion of this portion, you will be able to discuss the basic organization of human nervous system, identify the main components of the nervous system, explain the function of major divisions of brain, explain the structure and function of spinal cord, cranial and spinal nerves, autonomic nervous system, sensory receptors and their working, effect of drug on nervous coordination, and disorders of nervous system and their diagnostic tests. Here we have the division of nervous system. First of all, we divide nervous system into two major divisions: central nervous system known as CNS and peripheral nervous system known as PNS. Then we divide CNS into two major structures or divisions: brain and spinal cord. Brain receives and processes sensory information, initiates responses, stores, memorizes, generates thoughts and emotions. Spinal cord, it conducts signals to and from the brain, controls reflex activities. Here on this side, peripheral nervous system or PNS, we divide it into two major categories: motor neurons, CNS to muscles and glands, and then sensory neurons, sensory organs to CNS. Then we divide motor neurons into two further divisions: somatic nervous system controls voluntary movements, and autonomic nervous system controls involuntary responses. Then we divide autonomic nervous system into two further categories: sympathetic division, fight or flight, and parasympathetic, rest or digest. Architecture of your central nervous system, it consists of brain and spinal cord. Both are hollow. Brain is enclosed within the cranium while spinal cord is enclosed within vertebral column. Here we have the structure, and both brain and spinal cord are covered with three protective membranes or the layers, and these layers and membranes are known as meninges. Here we have the section of brain and spinal cord. Scalp, your outermost portion of the skull, cranium. Then here is the cerebrum. Mostly we have a very big portion of brain is cerebrum. Then cerebellum, vertebral column, spinal cord inside the vertebral column, and these are the meninges. Look at here: skin, hypodermis, bone of skull, and these are the sinuses, means cavities. Now these three are the meninges or the layers, protective coverings around the brain. First of all, the outermost, which is nearest to the your skull or the bone of the skull, is dura mater, ठीक है, next to the cranium. Then inner arachnoid, this is middle membrane, and pia mater, this is the innermost membrane or next to the nervous tissue. Cerebral fluid is present between arachnoid and pia mater, and it helps to cushion the brain from shock. Here is the division of brain. We have first three major divisions of brain: forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. Forebrain is further divided into thalamus, limbic system and cerebrum. According to this division, hypothalamus is the part of forebrain, but according to your book, it is indirectly the part of brain. That hypothalamus is the part of limbic system, and then limbic system is the part of forebrain. It's all right. You must follow your book, ठीक है. तो फोर ब्रेन के आपके पास फर्स्ट थ्री पार्ट्स हैं: थैलेमस, लिम्बिक सिस्टम एंड सेरेब्रम, ठीक. अच्छा जी, फिर आपके पास है लिम्बिक सिस्टम. देन लिम्बिक सिस्टम इज डिवाइडेड इनटू हिपोकैम्पस, अमेगडाला एंड hypothalamus. Then cerebrum is divided into two hemispheres: left hemisphere and right hemisphere, or we can call them cerebral hemispheres, and each hemisphere is further divided into 4 lobes: left occipital lobe, left parietal lobe, left temporal lobe, left frontal lobe, and then right frontal, right temporal, right parietal and right occipital. हेयर इन मिड ब्रेन, अच्छा जी, ये मिड ब्रेन जो है ये फर्दर डिवाइडेड नहीं है, ये आपके पास रिड्यूस्ड है इन ह्यूमंस, एंड हाइंड ब्रेन इज फर्दर डिवाइडेड इनटू मेडुला ऑब्लांगेटा, पॉन्स एंड सेरेबेलम. Here we have now this is the forebrain, and we can divide this forebrain into 3 major portions: cerebrum, thalamus and limbic system. Cerebrum is the largest part of the human brain. Cerebrum is further divided into 2 cerebral hemispheres which are interconnected with each other by a band of axon called the corpus callosum. This is the cerebrum, and one hemisphere and other hemisphere, 2 hemispheres are connected with each other with the help of the band of axon, and this is known as corpus callosum. Each hemisphere is further divided into 4 lobes: parietal, temporal, occipital and frontal. Then each lobe is further have 3 functional areas: sensory area, association area and motor area. Sensory area receives impulses from different body parts. Association area interprets or analyzes the incoming information, and motor area control the responses of the body. Overall, cerebrum is involved in the analysis and interpretation of memory, reasoning, judgment, thoughts and dreams. The surface of the cerebrum is called the cerebral cortex. This surface of the cerebrum is known as surface cortex, and cerebral cortex has many folds or convolutions forming ridges or gyri or gyrus, which are separated by grooves. A shallow groove is called a sulcus and a deep groove is called a fissure. The 2 hemispheres are separated by longitudinal fissures. ये जो आपको lines नजर आ रही हैं, basically these are the grooves and fissures. Second part, thalamus. Thalamus is present here just beneath the cerebral hemisphere. It receives all sensory impulses except sense of smell and channels them to limbic system and to appropriate regions of the cortex for interpretation. Then the third part of your forebrain is limbic system. Here we have a good view of limbic system. Limbic system consists of 3 parts, complex structures: hypothalamus, hippocampus and amygdala. Hypothalamus, it maintains the homeostasis, contains centers for regulating hunger, sleep, thirst, body temperature, water balance, blood pressure, menstrual cycle, sleep-wake cycle. It also controls the pituitary gland, thereby serve as a link between nervous and endocrine system. Here is the hypothalamus. Next part is the hippocampus. Consists of 2 horns that curve back from the amygdala. It appears to be very important in converting things that are in your mind at the moment into things that you will remember for the long run. So it is involved in the short-term memory and long-term memory. The third portion of limbic system is amygdala. Here we have the amygdala. These are 2 almond-shaped masses of neurons on either side of the thalamus at the lower end of the hippocampus. They control feeling, emotions of love, hate, anger, fear, rage and sexual arousal. अच्छा जी, ये आपको एक वर्ड नज़र आ रहा है वेंट्रिकल्स. वेंट्रिकल्स आर बेसिकली द नेटवर्क ऑफ कैविटीज़, फ्लूइड फिल्ड कैविटीज़ हैं और ये ब्रेन के डिफरेंट पोर्शंस में हैं. तो ओवरऑल हम इनको वेंट्रिकल्स बोलते हैं. ये आपके पास हैं लेटरल वेंट्रिकल्स हैं सेरेब्रल हेमिस्फीयर्स के, ये दो होते हैं. ठीक है, फिर ये आपको थर्ड वेंट्रिकल नज़र आ रहा है, फोर्थ वेंट्रिकल नज़र आ रहा है और सेरेब्रल एक्वेडक्ट नज़र आ रहा है. ठीक है, ये क्या है एक्चुअली, ये आपके पास कैविटीज़ हैं जिनमें फ्लूइड होता है. फ्लूइड कौन सा होता है? CSF. CSF किसकी शॉर्ट है? सेरेब्रो स्पाइनल फ्लूइड. ठीक है, तो ये भी एक आपके पास बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट है ब्रेन का. मिड ब्रेन, it is reduced in humans. It contains auditory relay center and controls reflex movements of eyes. It contains reticular formation, which is a relay center connecting hind brain with the forebrain. It is very important in screening the input information before they reach forebrain. ठीक हो गया. नेक्स्ट है आपके पास हाइंड ब्रेन. हाइंड ब्रेन में आपके पास आ जाता है सेरेबेलम, मेडुला एंड पॉन्स. ठीक है, सेरेबेलम क्या है? कंट्रोल्स इक्विलिब्रियम, बॉडी पोजीशन एंड कोऑर्डिनेशन ऑफ द एक्शंस ऑफ इंडिविजुअल मसल्स टू प्रोड्यूस कॉम्प्लेक्स एक्टिविटीज सच एज वॉकिंग, रनिंग, राइडिंग, साइकिलिंग एट्सेट्रा. ठीक है, और सेरेबेलम क्या करता है? इन्वॉल्व है लर्निंग, मेमोरी में, स्टोरेज में और बिहेवियर में. ठीक है, pons, it acts as a bridge between the cerebellum, medulla oblongata and cerebrum. It also controls the rate and pattern of heartbeat and breathing. Medulla oblongata, third and last portion of the hindbrain, controls the automatic functions of the body such as heartbeat, blood pressure, respiration, etc. The major divisions of the brain: forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain and their functions. Forebrain processes sensory information, helps with reasoning and problem solving and regulates autonomic, endocrine and motor functions. Midbrain helps to regulate movement and process auditory and visual information. Then hindbrain helps to regulate autonomic functions, relay sensory information, coordinate movements and maintain balance and equilibrium. Here is a chart or a table of parts of brain and their functions. Forebrain, we can divide forebrain into three further portions: cerebrum, thalamus and limbic system, midbrain, and then hindbrain with cerebellum, medulla oblongata and pons. Cerebrum involved in hearing, sight, analysis, interpretation of memory, reasoning, judgment, thoughts, and dreams. Thalamus receives sensory impulses, channels them to limbic system and appropriate regions of the cortex. Then limbic system, physiological responses to emotional stimuli, memory, attention, shaping your behavior, character, and emotions. Midbrain, reticular formation, act as relay center, cerebellum, equilibrium, learning, memory, storage for behavior. Then medulla oblongata, automatic functions, pons, bridge between cerebellum, medulla, cerebrum, heartbeat and breathing. अच्छा जी, यहाँ पे एक वीडियो है एनाटमी एंड फंक्शन ऑफ ब्रेन, तो ये आप ज़रा देख लीजिए, इंशाल्लाह इससे आपको और ज़्यादा क्लियर हो जाएगा. Now, the second important part of the central nervous system is spinal cord. It extends from the foramen magnum, a hole in the bottom of the skull, where it is continuous with the medulla oblongata to the level of the first or the second lumbar vertebrae. It is a vital link between the brain and the body and from the body to the brain. We can divide it into three major portions: white matter in periphery, gray matter in side, and central canal filled with CSF. Here we have the white matter, gray matter, and the central portion which is filled with CSF. What is CSF? Cerebrospinal fluid. Gray matter is shaped like the letter H or a butterfly. The two wings of the butterfly are connected across the midline by the dorsal gray commissure and below the white commissure. As in the other part of the nervous system, gray matter consists of neuron cell bodies and the non-myelinated parts of the fibers. The white matter is made up of bundle of myelinated fibers. White matter shows deep grooves from both sides, from dorsal side to the central canal and from ventral side to the central canal. These grooves are called posterior median sulcus and anterior median fissure respectively. Several pairs of spinal nerves originate from the ventral horn of gray matter. Similarly, several pairs of spinal nerves join the spinal cord through dorsal horn of gray matter. Dorsal root of spinal nerves also contain ganglia present just beside the spinal cord. Here you can see in the figure dorsal root ganglia, dorsal root sensory neuron soma means body, sensory neuron की body, ठीक है. Ventral root spinal nerve and motor neuron soma means motor neuron की body, ठीक है. तो ये simple सा structure है. White matter, gray matter, central canal and different roots, dorsal and ventral. Next is the cranial and spinal nerves in man. Cranial nerves, these are of three types: sensory, motor, mixed, and these are 12 pairs. And spinal nerves all are mixed and these are 31 pairs. Look at the figure. Cranial nerves are in the upper portion of your body and that is known as head and in facial portion. Spinal nerves are in the lower body, in the neck, forearms, ठीक है, आपकी बैक में है और लोअर आर्म्स में है. Okay जी, each spinal nerve emerges from the spinal cord by two short branches or roots which lie within the vertebral column. The dorsal root contains the fibers of sensory neuron which conduct impulse to the spinal cord. The ventral root contains the fibers of motor neurons which conduct impulses away from the cord. The two root joints just before a spinal nerve leaves the vertebral column. Each spinal nerve serves the particular region of the body in which it is located. Now here is the division of PNS, peripheral nervous system. Peripheral nervous system, we can divide nervous system into two categories, as you know, central and peripheral. Then peripheral is further divided into somatic and autonomic. Somatic nervous system is related with touch, hearing, muscle that move body. ठीक है. Autonomic, internal senses for gut, smooth muscles in gut, these are the part of autonomic. Then we divide autonomic into two categories, sympathetic and parasympathetic. Again, sympathetic for emergency situations and parasympathetic for housekeeping situations. G. Functional organization of PNS. peripheral nervous system. Sensory, efferent division, motor, efferent division. We can divide sensory into somatic sensory and visceral sensory. Somatic, general touch, pain, pressure, vibration, temperature and perception, skin, body wall, limbs, hearing, equilibrium, vision. ठीक है. Visceral sensory, general, stretch, pain, temperature, chemical changes, irritation, viscera, nausea, hunger, taste and smell. Now here in motor division we have somatic nervous system and autonomic nervous system. In somatic, motor innervations of all skeletal muscles. In autonomic, motor innervations of smooth muscles, cardiac muscle and gland. Then the autonomic is further into again sympathetic and parasympathetic divisions. Here we have a good look of your extra reading material from your book, page number 83. डिफरेंट ऑर्गन्स बने हुए हैं कि कौन से आपके पैरासिम्पैथेटिक नर्वस सिस्टम के अंडर आते हैं और कौन से आपके सिंपैथेटिक के अंडर आते हैं, और समटाइम्स कुछ जो है वो बोथ सिस्टम्स में आ रहे हैं और किस तरह वो एक्ट कर रहे हैं. तो ये आपकी बुक का जो फिगर है वो मैंने यहाँ पे लगाया है, इसको आप गौर से देख लीजिए. पैरासिम्पैथेटिक में क्या क्या चीज़ें कहाँ पे इन्वॉल्व हैं. आई है, अगर फर्स्ट करें सपोज फर्स्ट आई, तो यहाँ पे आपका कंसेंट्रिक प्यूपिल है और यहाँ पे आपके पास डायलेट प्यूपिल है. तो इस तरह स्लाइवरी ग्लैंड्स को अगर आप देखें तो इनहिबिट स्लाइवेशन है और यहाँ पे स्लाइवरी ग्लैंड में स्टिमुलेट स्लाइवेशन है. ठीक है, तो ये आपके पास एक बहुत अच्छा सा कंपैरेटिव आ गया है पैरासिम्पैथेटिक और सिंपैथेटिक का. ये आपकी बुक में भी बना हुआ है, वहाँ से आप लर्न करने, यहाँ से आपको क्लियर नज़र आता है. तो ये आपने जो है ना, ये आपने लर्न कर लेना है. फिर आपके पास अगेन टेबल की फॉर्म में या फ्लो चार्ट कंपैरेटिव की फॉर्म में सिंपैथेटिक और पैरासिम्पैथेटिक का है कि इनमें दोनों में किस तरह कंपेयर करेंगे या कैसे आप इसको दोनों को डिफरेंशिएट. ओके जी, नाउ दिस फ्लो चार्ट इज़ एक्चुअली द डिटेल्ड ऑफ दिस डायग्राम. ठीक है, जो कुछ इसमें आपको शो किया गया है, जैसे हमने पहली दो एग्जांपल्स को मैंने डिस्कस किया आपके साथ, बाकी अगर बहुत डिस्कस करेंगे तो आपका ये जो लेक्चर है बहुत लंबा हो जाएगा. तो ये देखिए आपके जहाँ पे ये जो आपको डायग्राम के साथ डिस्क्रिप्शन दी हुई है कि सिंपैथेटिक नर्वस सिस्टम आपके स्लाइवरी ग्लैंड को इनहिबिट करता है स्लाइवा प्रोडक्शन को, और ये जो है ये स्टिमुलेट करता है स्लाइवा प्रोडक्शन को. तो इन्हीं चीज़ों को डिस्क्राइब करके स्टेटमेंट की फॉर्म में आपको यहाँ बता दिया है कि ऑटोनॉमिक नर्वस सिस्टम को आप दो में डिवाइड करते हैं, सिंपैथेटिक एंड पैरासिम्पैथेटिक. देन उनके स्ट्रक्चर्स दिए हुए हैं और साथ फंक्शंस दिए हुए हैं, और पैरासिम्पैथेटिक के स्ट्रक्चर्स के साथ फंक्शंस दिए हुए हैं. ठीक है, तो ये उसी डायग्राम की डिस्क्रिप्शन है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल यहाँ देखिए, नर्व फाइबर दैट अराइज फ्रॉम brain stem and sacral region of the spinal cord to join the nerve fibers in the muscles and glands. तो करता क्या है, काम क्या है, constricts pupil of the eyes and bronchioles of lungs, decreases heart rate, blood glucose concentration, blood to skeletal muscles. इस तरह अगर आप यहाँ देखें तो ये है nerve fibers that arise from thoracic and lumbar regions of the spinal cord join a prevertebral ganglion, then form here nerve fibers exit and connect to the vital organs. जैसे यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है डायलिटेशन ऑफ प्यूपिल ऑफ द आई एंड ब्रोंक्यूल्स ऑफ लंग्स, इंक्रीजेज हार्ट रेट, ब्लड ग्लूकोज कंसंट्रेशन, ब्लड टू स्केलेटल मसल्स. तो ये कंपैरिजन आपके पास है दोनों सिस्टम्स का. द सेंसरी रिसेप्टर्स, द बॉडी डिटेक्ट व्हाट इज अकरिंग आउटसाइड एंड इनसाइड द बॉडी. इट इज़ परफॉर्म्ड बाय सेंसरी रिसेप्टर्स, olfactory receptors, taste receptors, sensory receptors in skin, touch and pain. These few are present, or these few are in your syllabus in your book, and we will continue with these four. Olfactory receptors, as you can understand by the name, these are the smell receptors, taste receptors, and touch and pain present in the skin. Now, first of all, olfactory receptors. These are chemoreceptors. Olfactory organs present in the upper part of the nasal cavity. Olfactory receptor cells are neurons. These cells are surrounded by columnar epithelial cells, and they have cilia at the distal ends. Chemicals enter the nasal cavity as gases. They must dissolve at least partially in watery fluid that surrounds the cilia before they can be detected. The nerve impulses travel along the axons of the receptor cells, which lead to olfactory bulb, which is situated on the inferior side of the forebrain. Olfactory bulb transmits smell information from nose to the brain. Here you can see the cells, olfactory receptor cells. Then we have the columnar epithelial cells or the supporting cells, and these are the cilia present over the mouth of the olfactory receptor cells. Odor molecules distributed in the nasal cavity, ठीक है, olfactory epithelium and lamina propria. These are the parts of your nasal chamber. ठीक है, आपका जहाँ कंसर्न है olfactory cells के साथ, ये आपने इसकी फिगर कोशिश करें, लर्न कर रहे हैं, इसको ड्रॉ करना आपको आता हो. olfactory receptor cells की, columnar epithelial cells की, ये cilia मेंशन करने ज़रूरी हैं, और ये ऑर्डर मॉलिक्यूल्स वगैरह आपने ल्यूमेन के अंदर, नेज़ल कैविटी के अंदर डॉट्स के साथ शो करने हैं. आपकी बुक में जो फिगर बनी हुई है वो एक माउथ का पूरा फेस बना हुआ है, और उसके बाद फिर उसमें आपको दिखाए हैं ऑल्फैक्टरी स्ट्रक्चर्स दिखाए हैं, और फिर डिटेल से एक दो सेल्स दिखाए हैं, लेकिन वो बहुत ज़्यादा क्लियर नहीं है. ठीक है, वो ब्लर सी बनी हुई है. आप यहाँ से इसको अपना कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर कर सकते हैं. उस फिगर्स में से भी कुछ आपने पूछना है, या अगर कुछ आपको क्वेश्चन करना हो तो फिर वो आप मुझे बता देंगे. टेस्ट. Taste buds are on the surface of the tongue, as you know, associated with tiny elevation called papillae. Taste buds includes a group of modified epithelial cells, the taste cells, which function as receptors. Taste cells has an opening, the taste pore, on its free surface. Tiny projections, taste hairs, protrude from outer end of the taste cell and just protrude through the taste pore. 4 primary taste sensations are स्वीट, सॉर, साल्टी एंड बिटर. और इसके आपके पास टंग के ऊपर स्पेसिफिक एरियाज़ हैं जहाँ पे आप डिफरेंट टेस्ट्स को फील कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, बिटर ये पोर्शन है आपका, बैक पे है टंग के. ठीक है, सेंट्रल जो है वो स्वीट है, साइडों वाला सॉर को डिटेक्ट करता है, और फ्रंट वाला आपका ज़्यादातर सॉल्ट और स्वीट को डिटेक्ट करता है. ठीक है, इसी का अभी जो आपने देखा कि टेस्ट पोर, ये आपके पास एक सेल आ गया. ठीक है, सॉरी, ये टेस्ट बड है जिसमें आपके पास नर्व फिब्रिल्स भी हैं, और फिर सेल्स हैं. सेल्स आपके पास कौन कौन से हैं? बेसल सेल्स हैं, सपोर्टिंग सेल्स हैं, और आपके पास टेस्ट पोर के ऊपर आपके पास माइक्रोविलाएँ हैं, और ये टेस्ट बड का एक स्ट्रक्चर है जिसमें आप सेंस कर सकते हैं डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ टेस्ट को. बुक में आपके सिर्फ टंग बनी हुई है, और इसके ऊपर आपके पास ये एरियाज़ बने हुए हैं. तो ये आपकी एक्स्ट्रा इंफॉर्मेशन के लिए है कि जो आपने ये जो अभी लिखा हुआ पढ़ा है उसको, ताकि आप अपने आप को इजीली क्लियर कर सकें. नेक्स्ट आपके पास आ गए जी सेंसरी रिसेप्टर्स ऑफ स्किन. स्किन के अंदर आपको बहुत सारे मिलते हैं रिसेप्टर्स, जो आपके पास टच के भी हैं, पेन के भी हैं, डिफरेंट आपके पास ग्लैंड्स भी होते हैं, सेबेशियस ग्लैंड्स वगैरह होते हैं, हेयर फॉलिकल्स होते हैं, हेयर रूट होता है. ठीक है, सेबेशियस ग्लैंड्स जो हैं वो ज़्यादातर हेयर रूट के साथ और हेयर फॉलिकल के साथ ही अटैच्ड फॉर्म में आपको नज़र आते हैं. ये डिफरेंट जो रिसेप्टर्स आपको साइडों पे नज़र आ रहे हैं, ये डिफरेंट इनकी एंडिंग्स हैं, और वो डिफरेंट फंक्शंस परफॉर्म करते हैं, और ज़्यादातर के नाम उनके साइंटिस्ट के नाम पे हैं. मिसनर्स कार्पसल है जो टच को फील करता है. ठीक है, पिसिनियन और पिकिनियन, ज़्यादातर इसको पिसिनियन ही बोलते हैं, कार्पसल है, ये प्रेशर को फील करता है, ठीक है जी। रफिनी एंडिंग्स, ये आपके प्रेशर को फील करता है। फ्री नर्व एंडिंग्स हैं तो ये पेन, हीट और कोल्ड को डिटेक्ट करते हैं। मर्कल डिस्क्स, ये टच को फील करते हैं। क्रॉसी बल्ब हैं, ये टच के लिए हैं। और रूट हेयर प्लक्सेस है, ये भी टच के लिए है, ठीक है। तो ये आपके पास डिफरेंट जो टाइप के रिसेप्टर्स हैं, डिफरेंट एक्टिविटीज़ शो करते हैं। ये आप जो हैं ये कहाँ कहाँ पे हैं, मोस्टली आपके पास अगर हम इनको वन बाय वन देखते हैं तो ये हैं डर्मिस ऑफ द स्किन कंटेन रिसेप्टर्स फॉर टच, प्रेशर, टेम्परेचर एंड पेन. Meissner's corpuscle and Merkel disc, these are for touch. These consist of small oval masses of flattened connective tissue cells. Sorry. Two or more sensory nerve fibers branch into each corpuscle. They end as tiny knobs. Meissner's corpuscle are especially numerous in the lips, fingertips, palm and soles. Pacinian's corpuscles are also encapsulated nerve endings present in the fatty layer deep into the skin. They are concerned with sensation of pressure. Receptors for touch and pressure are also called mechanoreceptors. Pain receptors are technically called nociceptors. Pain receptors are located at the top of the skin in the epidermis area to detect the pain quickly. These receptors are naked dendrites that respond to chemical released by damaged tissue or excess stimuli of heat or pressure. These receptors are widely distributed throughout the skin and intertissue except the tissue of the brain. Now the drugs. Narcotic drugs. What are narcotic drugs? A narcotic is a group of substances when administered diminish the perception of pain. These bind to certain pain-killing sites in the brain. With constant use, they build up in the brain and block the production of endorphins, the brain's natural pain-killing chemicals. Their side effects are inhibition of the endocrine and autonomous nervous system. These act as agents which interact with the normal nervous activities. We have few narcotic drugs here: heroin, cannabis, nicotine, alcohol, and inhalants. Heroin gives a feeling of euphoria along with the relief of pain, and its side effects are nausea, vomiting, depression. Cannabis is the dried flowering top, leaves, and stem of a plant known as Cannabis sativa. It includes marijuana and hashish. Usually, the users report a mild euphoria along with alterations in vision and judgment. Side effects are hallucinations, anxiety, and depression. Nicotine. It is an alkaloid derived from tobacco. When smoking a cigarette, nicotine is quickly distributed to all body organs. In peripheral nervous system, nicotine stimulates postsynaptic receptors and lead to increased skeletal muscular activity. It also increases the heartbeat rate and blood pressure. Alcohol is primarily metabolized in the liver, where it disturbs the normal working of glycolysis and Krebs cycle. pH of the blood decreases and become acidic. Fat accumulation, the first stage of liver deterioration, begins immediately. There is an increased risk of cardiac arrhythmia and stroke. Inhalants are volatile organic chemicals, and these are the now included aerosols, etc., hairsprays, and these cause loss of appetite, hallucinations, and euphoria. We have two another terms for the drug addiction and drug tolerance, or we can say that we have two terms related with the drugs. Drug addiction is a state of heavy independence on the drug, sometimes defined as physical dependence, but usually also including emotional dependence. Drug addiction is a dependence on an illegal drug or a medication. Drug tolerance is a person's diminished response to a drug, which occurs when the drug is used repeatedly and the body adapts to the continued presence of that drug. Disorders of nervous system due to different reasons. We can divide disorders of nervous system into different categories. One is the vascular disorders, second the infectious disorders, third the structural and functional disorders, and degenerative disorders. Now first of all, the first vascular disorder of the CNS, and that is stroke. It occurs due to rupture of small perforating cerebral arteries. The cause and risk factor for stroke include hypertension, cigarette smoking, diabetes, etc. Symptoms. These include sudden loss of function in one region of the brain, weakness and heaviness occur in arm, leg or face, paralysis occurs on the side of the body opposite to the cerebral infection. And treatment. Medical treatment is aimed at preventing further attacks and stroke, and anticoagulants were given to the patient. Infectious disorders, and here we have meningitis, and it is due to the infection in the meninges. Now what are meninges? We have done in the previous slides. This is a normal brain and this is the infected brain. Meninges are the layers around your brain inside your skull, and meningitis is the inflammation of meninges. It may be caused by the bacteria, virus or fungus. Symptoms include photophobia, headache, stiff neck, nausea, vomiting and fever. And antibiotics are given in this for cure of meningitis. Next, the structural disorders. Tumor. It is an abnormal mass of neuroglial cells produced as a result of uncontrolled cell division. So it may be produced inside the brain in anywhere, and mostly it is due to the age, but in young people we can see the tumors, maybe due to tension, maybe due to stress, but we have a treatment of surgery in this case. In functional disorders of the CNS, we have headache. Headache is pain anywhere in the region of the head or neck. It can be a symptom of a number of different conditions of the head and neck. The brain tissue itself is not sensitive to pain because it lacks pain receptors. Rather, the pain is caused by disturbance of the pain sensitive structures around the brain. There are two major categories of headaches: primary headache and secondary headache. Headaches are maybe due to the bleeding in the brain, tumor, meningitis, and treatment is that we can give any painkiller to the patient. Degenerative disorders of CNS, and a very prominent and important example is the Alzheimer's disease, in which we cannot perform the normal functions of our daily life. Causes are maybe the aging, maybe the environmental factors like stress and tension, maybe the family history due to genetics, but we lose memory, unable to do normal tasks like cooking, dressing, talking, walking, unable to recognize relatives, friends, their names, and loss of ability to take care of themselves. Prevention: control the risk factor like blood pressure, diabetes, stroke, avoid stress, and involve them in healthy activities like reading. What happens to the brain of Alzheimer's patient? Here we have the deposition of different materials in the neuroglial or the neuron region, and we have normal neurofibrils like this, and these are the abnormal neurofibrils of Alzheimer's brain. Now we have the diagnostic tests for nervous disorders. These days, numbers of diagnostic tests have been developed for nervous disorders. According to your syllabus, we have the EEG, CT scan, and MRI. Now, what is EEG? Electroencephalography. Neurons within the cerebral cortex continuously generate electrical activity. This activity can be recorded by electrodes attached to precise locations on the scalp, producing electroencephalogram, and this technique is known as electroencephalography, short EEG. EEG pattern is commonly called brain waves. You can see here the position of electrodes, and this is the electroencephalogram. Here this is, and doctors can see or check or read the different abnormalities in this graph. Sorry. Now the computed tomography scan. This is known as CT scan. It is an X-ray procedure that combines many X-ray images with the aid of a computer to generate cross-sectional views and, if needed, three-dimensional image of the internal organs and structure of the body. It is used to define normal and abnormal structures in the body, assist in procedures by helping to accurate guide the placement of instruments or treatments. And magnetic resonance imaging, MRI. It is radiology technique that uses magnetism, radio waves, and a computer. Produce images of the body structure. MRI scanner is a tube surrounded by a giant circular magnet. The patient is placed on a movable bed that is inserted into the magnet. The patient is exposed to strong magnetic field and beam of radio waves. Receiver information is processed by a computer and image is produced. Image and resolution produced by MRI is quite detailed and can detect tiny changes of structures within the body. So that's all about the techniques, and we are now completed this chapter, your nervous coordination. We have done the structure of different types of neuron, nerve impulse, and then the brain, structure and function of different parts of brain, structure and function of spinal cord, and we have done the different disorders of the nervous system, divisions of nervous system, and all that. So now we completed this section, and if you have any question you can call me. Okay, so we will continue inshallah. Till then, Allah Hafiz.